I, an ancient Greek philosopher, will tell you about the capital of Greece democracy, Athens, which gave the world democracy, philosophy, and several dozen inventions that we still use today. In this city, every stone has its own story, and the number of attractions per square kilometer is simply off the charts. There are many interesting places in the world, but Athens is one of the 5 cities that you should definitely visit at least once in your life. My story about the most important attraction of Athens, the Acropolis.
The Acropolis of Athens is one of the richest open-air museums located in the center of the Greek capital, the city of Athens.
Once every 4 years, in honor of the patroness of the polis, the goddess Athena, a holiday was held, the Great Parthenon, when the citizens of the city in a solemn procession ascended to the Acropolis to perform rituals in its main temple. The Acropolis was built after the triumphant end of the Greco-Persian Wars during the reign of Pericles. This was the time of the highest cultural flowering of the Greek capital. Pericles gathered around himself the best intellectual and artistic forces of Hellas. The general artistic supervision of the construction work on the Acropolis was carried out by Pericles' friend, the sculptor Phidias.
Approaching the hill, the walkers saw from afar a small and very elegant temple of Nike Apteros, the work of the architect Callistratus. It was dedicated to the goddess of victory, whom the Greeks depicted wingless for this temple so that she could not leave their country. This statue was located inside the temple building. The main building of the complex is the Parthenon, inside which once stood a 13-meter statue of Athena made of gold and ivory. Also impressive are the main entrance portal of the Propylaea, the Erechtheion temple with caryatid columns, and the world's oldest theater of Dionysus. In addition to them, among the 24 buildings of the Acropolis, the most important are the Temple of Nike Apteros and the ancient Roman arena Odeon of Herodes Atticus, where performances are still held during the theater festival. The sculptures and temples of the Acropolis of Athens remained intact and unharmed for almost 2,000 years, despite constant enemy captures. But in the 17th century, the Parthenon temple and other buildings were destroyed by the Venetians, who besieged the Turks hiding on the hill. Only some of the statues of Phidias remained intact. T. volumes Ben, or to beg the sufferance of the Phidias consist in superfal melanets when the published Metham. Today, when visiting the Acropolis of Athens, you can only see ruins and replicas of sculptures. Nevertheless, only a few wanted to tell how a new era was born thanks to the gods and heroes of the past. All the monuments of the Athens Acropolis, without exception, convey this idea in their external and internal appearance. The Parthenon, the Propylaea, the Erechtheion, the Temple of Athena Nike, the statue of Athena, embody real art. The buildings of the Athens Acropolis in their original form formed a single architectural ensemble. Without a doubt, their main creator, Pericles, had a general plan and drawings of the building, and most of the plans of ancient Greek myths indicate that a quarrel between Athena and Poseidon once began at the site of the Erechtheion. The subject of the dispute was dominance over the city. The god of the sea hit the rock with a trident, and a well with salt water was formed. And Athena, in turn, struck with a spear, and an olive tree grew from the ground. The gods who acted as judges declared Athena the winner, but the city residents wanted to reconcile their rivals and build a common sanctuary for them. The Erechtheion temple. The Parthenon is not a pantheon, as it is sometimes mistakenly called. The temple is dedicated to only one goddess, the protector of the city, Athena. During the Byzantine era, the Parthenon on the Acropolis of Athens was converted into a Christian church. During the reign of the Franks, it became a Catholic church, and during the Turkish occupation, it became a mosque. The Propylaea of Athens was never completed. In 431 BCE, the Peloponnesian War began and construction was suspended. The Athenians managed to resist the Spartans, but in 429, a plague epidemic came to the city. Pericles also became infected and soon died. His successors showed no interest in the Propylaea. Impossible to talk briefly about the ancient Acropolis of Athens. After all, the history of its creation goes deep into the past. The Parthenon and the Aptera temples of the Acropolis appeared much later than the heights were first occupied by humans. It has been established that the hill was inhabited as early as the 3rd millennium BC. Its wide and flat surface was quite suitable for life. In addition, the territory surrounded on 3 sides by a cliff ensured safety. In surviving documents, the Acropolis in Athens.
Friends, I am finishing my story and therefore recommend that you come to Athens yourself and visit the Acropolis.